Good day, everyone. I am Natalie Elliott of the Atlanta Sex Therapy Private Practice, Counseling Practice in Marietta, Georgia. And today we're going to answer the question of, can sex therapy save my marriage? So we're going to get into it with the whole team. And so stay tuned. Here we come. All right. Good morning, everybody. Happy
Good
Friday.
morning. Hello.
All right, so we are here, and I'll introduce everybody this morning for expediency because we're starting just a few minutes late due to me. With Joe, she's the fabulous administrative assistant and captain of our ship here at Atlanta Sex Therapy. Sharian, one of our fabulous couples therapists, and Jessica, our amazing intern. So Mary Hannah's on vacation; she's on her school break. Lamar may be joining us a little bit later, so hopefully he will get a chance to come in. And I am Natalie, a clinician here at Atlanta Sex Therapy, excited to be here with you guys and talking today. And today we're going to talk about the topic of, can sex therapy save my marriage? And
Wow.
so who wants to take that question first? All right, Sharon, I'm gonna put you on it.
Okay. So I'm going to say this. You know how I always say sex therapy chose me and I didn't choose sex therapy, right?
Okay.
But I'm happy that, I'm
Yeah.
learning. Can sex therapy save my marriage? I'm going to say yes.
Okay.
That's the short answer.
Okay. I need the long answer for this though. We got a whole 30 minutes to fill.
Okay. So the long answer for me, for my marriage and family therapist brain is, let's assess what's influencing sex. So
Okay.
don't come to sex therapy and think that we can do sensate focus and maybe your communication's bad. So how can I give you activity to do or exercise to do, uh,
Mm-hmm.
you know, based on just touching and your communication's bad, or you have things, conflicts that you haven't resolved,
Mm-hmm.
and trust or
Mm-hmm.
betrayal is a theme
Mm-hmm.
in your marriage, then you have to be open to understand that we have to explore
Mm-hmm.
other things so that you can even be happy
Mm-hmm.
wanting to do
Mm-hmm.
activities
Mm-hmm.
that may enhance sexual intimacy. And so that would be the medium answer, the medium
No,
long answer.
that's a good answer. And one of the reasons why we have you on staff is because s- a good amount of time it is those deeper relationship issues. And so trying to get a couple to have sex, and it's like, okay, y'all don't like each other, or y'all don't know how to talk to each other, or y'all are mad at each other 20 days out of the 30 days of the month. And so
Mm.
working on that like deeper couples work sometimes is first. And actually a couple of times once that gets finished, then the sex is fine. Because it's not that the sex was a problem. It was a problem that y'all didn't like each other 20 out of the 30 days of the
Mm.
month or when speaking, like some couples, they'll get mad at each other and literally not speak to each other for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 30 days at a time. And so, if that type of dynamic is going on, then no, we can't just have you do sex therapy and that's it. No, we're gonna have to do some couples therapy. We got to get you guys communicating. We got to get you guys remembering that you like each other again, and then we can do the sex therapy piece to get that.
I've had couples to come for sex and we start talking about
Hmm.
deeper issues. And then when I start to ask, well, how is the sex going? Well, Sharon, we back having sex. I don't even want to talk about that this session. Just let me tell you about this. Let me tell you about that. I was thinking
God.
about what you said last session. Sex is okay now. That's not even now the sex magically is not the problem anymore.
Uh huh.
So it's almost like don't scapegoat sex and say sex is why my marriage is suffering,
Yeah. Yeah.
because
Definitely.
you
Don't.
cannot, sometimes if your marriage is healthy and you understand you are going to have conflict and you understand how to resolve conflict, you can still have sex with your mate, even in the
Mm-hmm.
midst of resolving a conflict. So it doesn't change your whole bond or
Mm-hmm.
connection with them just
Mm-hmm.
because you're trying to resolve a problem.
Yep. Excellent, excellent,
That's
excellent.
good.
All right, I'm gonna throw it to you, Jessica. All right, can sex save my marriage?
Sex therapy.
Sex therapy. Thank you.
So I'm gonna have a controversial answer in saying no, in that
Okay.
I view it as a life preserver. Like, it is a tool. If you use the tool, it can help you. If
Mm-hmm.
you just watch the life preserver as it floats away, it's not going to be very helpful. So
Right.
there was a great analogy I heard at one point that therapy is not necessarily having a mechanic fix your car. It's having a mechanic on the phone with you telling you how to fix your car yourself.
Yeah.
And so if you don't actually pick up any of the tools and like get into the problem, you're just spending time with experts who are trying to give you tools and you're just dropping them. Um,
Mm-hmm.
like it's you have to, the person who is struggling with it has to put in the work. We are here to just facilitate that, to help with that. Like, we can't do it for you. We're not going to fix it for you. We can't fix it for you. Like,
Mm-hmm.
the people who are involved in the issue have to do it. And if they're not willing to do it, then no, it won't help.
All right.
Can I
Thank
ask
you
a
so much. Yes, Sharon, go ahead.
I was just curious. So, to the mechanic analogy, right?
Mhm.
Is it a possibility that the mechanic can tell the person on the phone what tool that they need to fix the car? So could they
Um,
say, yes, you need a wrench. Yes, you need a screwdriver. So wouldn't that be telling them the tool to fix the car?
you could, and I think that there is a definite, like, okay, your
Mm-hmm.
carburetor's off and you need these tools to fix a carburetor. But like, if you don't pick up the tools, if you just sit there looking at your car hoping it's
Yeah.
going to fix itself,
Yeah.
it's still not going to do anything.
Yeah. And then Sharon, to bring that to like practical, like I've had a couple of clients say, I know we should be using Sensate Focus, but we're not. Or like we've read this book and we're not. Like they can't quite figure out how to execute.
Mhm.
And so, for whatever reason, couple dynamics, timing, not being able to just verbalize to each partner why this is important and what we're doing. And so, I think in that situation, the client knew what the tool was, but still needed somebody to talk them through exactly how to utilize the tool. You know, it's almost like if your grandmother gives you a recipe and you try to do it by yourself and you just can't, like you don't understand why your cake didn't make. And you need somebody to sit by you and say, or be on the phone with you and say, okay, now do this now with that. So with that, does that make sense? Okay, that was a really good question. All right, I like it. I like it. All right, okay, Joe, from your view, what do you think?
I think sometimes that it's both, but it's always the why. It always comes to the why, and
Okay.
the why and the different. And I always go off grid. I go to rabbit trails, but I always think that it's triggers. Different triggers, and people have to, once they come into therapy, they're trying to get a quick fix. And I think
Yeah.
we talked about that weeks ago. It's
Mm-hmm.
not microwavable,
Mm-hmm.
and I think people can't come in pointing the finger.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's them. It's them.
Mm-hmm.
I think people um, have to come in willing to change and be flexible
Mm-hmm.
to both put in the work.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't try,
Yeah.
it's not going to work.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I think it's a two-edged sword. I do.
All
That's
right.
it.
Okay.
I'm not doing any rabbit trails today. I'm staying right here. I'm staying focused.
I think then my answer to that is it depends on if you're ready to do the work. And
Hmm.
so just like you said, Jessica and Sharon, take from both of you guys, is are you ready to do the work and are you ready to do the deeper
Hmm.
work? And so a lot of times clients come into sex therapy because we're not having sex and this is a problem. And it's really just a symptom of a problem. And so if that's the case and you come in and we identify that and you're willing to do the work on the problem, then yeah, that would be a case where sex therapy saves your marriage.
Mhm.
If you're not willing to do the work, then it's not going to do it. There's so many things and tools we can practice in office with our clients. We can practice communication skills in office with our clients. We can do in vitro, in vivo, sorry, in vitro is fertilization. We can do in vivo. We can do in vivo therapy. We can do some systematic relaxation, but there's definitely some sex therapy things that you're going to have to do at home. Like you got to do at home in the privacy of your home. And so if I'm telling you to go home and do exercise A, B, and C, and then you come back in 3 weeks and say we didn't have time to do it, it didn't get done, then that's not going to help your relationship at all, at all. And I think the other thing is it still feels like even though we have so much information about therapy in our culture today, couples are still waiting too late before they come in. So I've had couples who've come in. We haven't had sex in 5 years. We haven't had sex in 14 years. We haven't, the longest is 20 years. We haven't had sex in 20 years. Help us now. Okay, if you haven't had sex in 20 years, we are at the point, this is no longer about the sex. Like it's not. Like there's so many relationship things and issues that we're going to have to work on. Like you just need to sit down, put your seatbelt on and get comfortable. You're going to be here for a while because we have a lot of things to work on with that. And the other thing is you can't start, it's not helpful to start sex therapy after your partner leaves you. Like that's not the time to come in and say, hey, I need you to help me with my sex life. My partner left 2 weeks ago. And that has happened. And so it's the thing. And so I just want to encourage couples, whatever you think is going on in your relationship, get help sooner rather than later. It's like mountain out of a molehill, like handle it when it's molehill level before it becomes mountain level.
Hey.
All right.
Yeah,
And
Well, and
welcome. Hey, Lamar.
Hey.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
All right, you're on, Lamar, and we're recording and we are Facebook living. So
Oh, it's all good. Yeah, my bad. I was giving some free counseling to one of my friends.
I would just say, Natalie.
That always comes up, doesn't it?
I'm learning to cut the free stuff out. So hey, I said, hey, brother, I got to get off there, man. You have met your free cat.
All right, let's get Jessica and then Lamar. We're going to jump in. Lamar, we're talking today, can sex therapy save my marriage? And so that's the topic.
Lord.
So you think about that, and then Jessica's going to weigh in, and then we're going to come back to get your wonderful wisdom.
Yeah, I just wanted to comment, Natalie, about your comment about coming in after your partnership breaks up. So we may not be able to help with that previous partnership or that intimate relationship, but we can absolutely help you build skills to benefit a future relationship. So we can't resurrect it, but we can still give you some tools to help for the future or help with your own independent sex life. So like we can still help. It's just not in the capacity of we can't resurrect something.
That's a really good point. Thank you, Jessica. All right, Lamar, you have it. Can sex therapy save my marriage?
Oh, man. Can it save my marriage? I believe. I try to look at things in context, and I believe that anything can be saved, or resurrected, or reinvigorated, if both parties are on the same page.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I believe if we're going in the same direction, then it's possible. Conversely, if one person is fighting and another person is retreating, then absolutely not. Because we're striving against each other, we're not on the same page, we're not going in the same direction. And at a point, whether it's explicit or implicit, it becomes futile. And I think that in my experience, and I'm thinking about two different couples that I currently see or have seen, when you have two people who want the best for each other, they want to please each other, they want for their relationship to deepen and grow, they'll fight through the difficult moments. They'll fight through the hard conversations. They'll touch on the stuff that hurts them. because they realize they're going towards the same direction. But if you have
Mhm.
one person who, like I said, is retreating and is already kind of checked out or
Mhm.
doesn't believe in the
Mhm.
process, and one person kind of fighting, it just at a point, once you get past the surface stuff, it just stagnates. And
Yeah.
then ultimately you don't feel any movement because it's like, why are we still doing this? Well, one person
Yeah.
doesn't really want to do it. So I think that, it's really incumbent upon the context and the situation.
Okay, definitely. So,
All
and I
right.
think
That's good.
so many couples, and I just, if y'all are out there, if you're hearing me, just don't wait till the last minute. But I know
Mhm.
so many couples, it's like, before I call the divorce attorney, let me try counseling. And if you could just bring us in like 4 years sooner, that would be so much better. And then realizing that, again, sex is usually a symptom of the bigger problem of what's going on.
Hmm.
And so when we
Yeah.
fix that, so and for people out there who, because there's somebody out there, so let me free your soul right now and talk directly to the camera. If you are in a relationship and you are not having sex with your partner, have a conversation about that. Do not assume that your partner is okay because you're okay, because we've gotten that on the phone, like, oh, we're not having sex and it's okay, until the partner
Mhm.
just one day says, hey, I love you. And I've had this happen several times where the partner's like, I love you, but I will not be in a sexless marriage one day more. And the other person's like, wait, what? I thought we were fine. Okay, so let me tell you, everybody out there, it is, I would guarantee your partner is not fine that y'all been in a sexless marriage for the last 3, 4, 5 years. And six is about the time when the person's like, you know what? I love this person, but I want better for myself. I want a different life for myself. I want to be happy. I want somebody to touch my body. Like I want to feel love. And a lot of people feel love and appreciation through sex. And so make sure you're having those conversations and don't assume because you're okay without touch, your partner's okay without touch. And so I've seen that happen. And then because it's always so hurtful, when the person's like, but I didn't know it was a problem. I can see that because it wasn't a problem for you. And they didn't verbalize how much of a problem it was for them until it got way too late with that. And so please make sure you're having these conversations. So if you're in a relationship and y'all aren't having sex, is that an agreed upon thing? Is this what we're deciding to do? And let me go one level deeper for my clients who have had medical issues. Just because, and I'm gonna get real clear here, just because a penis for whatever reason can't go into the vagina for whatever reason, doesn't mean you guys still can't have a wonderful sexual life and good sexual experiences with each other with
I
that.
think your numbers just went up.
With that. And so, with especially, and what's been on my heart as of late is older men who get prostate cancer and they lose their functioning. And so then there's no conversation, there's no nothing, there's no how can we still be intimate with each other? Like, how can we still just love each other and have that physical connection? And nothing is said. Nothing is said. Back problems, hip problems, all of these things. Oh, well, I can't do what I used to do. Nobody at 80 is hanging from the chandeliers like they used to at 20. And so being able to figure out, okay, we got to do it differently now. And being willing and open to have those conversations of what does different look like. And so I think, and Joe, tell me if you think this is true or not, that we've been seeing actually a lot of older couples come into the practice because people are saying, wait a minute, I still want to be intimate.
That's
I
right.
my
Yep.
my body works and
Yep. That's
I want
right.
it touched and I want to feel love and connection in that way. And so it's just very interesting, and I want couples having these conversations that, okay, we
Uh,
can't swing from the chandeliers anymore, but we can, with the help of this bed and this couch and this chair, make something happen. Like, we can make magic happen in different ways. Okay.
And that's so good because I think a lot of times people come into relationships thinking that you're a mind reader. You're not a mind reader. We may have had the conversation, but you still need to articulate to me what it is that you want. Because if you don't say it, how am I supposed to know?
Right.
And I think that also the media puts out things that, you have to be 20, 30 in your teens to be able to have good sex. I know people in their 70s and 80s. I know that they are having healthy, regular sex.
Yeah.
So that you can't believe that. And if they can't swing on the chandelier, maybe they can run around the lamp, but some of these people are still, they're mobile. They're mobile and they're healthy. And that sex is a part of life. It's part of what connects people. And you can't, again, it's not a quick fix. You can't come in here thinking that, oh, boom, it's done. And I think Sharon had mentioned it earlier. It's going to take time, because some of that, they're triggers. And once they get buried, they're still going to come back up.
Yeah.
If you don't get it resolved, just because you get it, it's going good that time. You have to work through the whole process.
Yeah.
Work through it, to get it resolved. And one of the things I ask clients when they come in is, what is your goal? When you turn around and look back after you finish therapy, what would you like to see? They articulate it like that. And they have to maintain that goal throughout the process of therapy to get to the point where they say, I don't ever have to, not ever have to go back, but at least those milestones are put in place. Those different things have been, what do you call them? It's like a cavity. Once you get the decay out, you fix it so there's a healthy tooth. You put a base on there and you fill it in. But you have to make sure those things are in place so that those triggers are gone. They're removed, and you know what to do when those triggers pop up. So
can I add something?
I'm done.
Please,
I'm done.
Sharon, go ahead.
Something I learned in supervision with you was get the number.
It's a what?
The number. How many times a week will the one partner be happy having sex? So somebody might say 2 and somebody might say 4. Right? And figuring out how, especially a person who wants 4, well, wait, what if you can't get 4? What's the number you would be happy with every week or every month? And that has created a good baseline for me, just to figure out what each other's number is. Like, how many times a week are you trying to achieve sex? And for the partner who's like, maybe I can do twice a month. Okay, we have something to work with, right?
Yeah.
So we have something to start building upon and compromising with. And another major question I always ask that seems to work for me is sex emotional or physical? Are you really horny 30 days a month? Is this about a physiological thing?
Yeah.
Or is this something else? Like, is this really real? Do you really want, does your body say, I really need to have sex 7 times a week? Yeah. And so sometimes it's been helpful, because especially the couple that has the person in the relationship that has a higher number, they start to think, wait a minute, what is this really about?
Yeah.
This just about I need some attention. It's just about, I believe that because we're married, then we're supposed to have sex 4 times, 5 times a week. Or is my body really saying, I need this to happen? And that's been really helpful. And it gets the wheels to turning in the relationship and start helping them start creating some win-wins. How are we gonna both win?
Yeah. I think, and one of the other things that I'll tell my couples with asking that question is, if somebody is starving, they want to eat everything in the grocery store. They want everything on the menu. You want everything. But once you start eating meals consistently, then you don't want everything. Like, if I sit down at the restaurant, I'm gonna have an appetizer, I'm gonna have a full meal, I'm gonna have 2 desserts and a cocktail. But if I sit down and I rest and I'm eating, I don't need to get dessert anymore. I don't want it anymore. And so I want people to realize that, because couples will start, well, they want sex all the time. Well, they never want sex. And it's usually somewhere in the middle for both people. And so if you're looking at somebody who's sexually hungry and they haven't had sex in 2 years, yeah, it's gonna seem like they want sex all the time. It just is with that. Oh, go ahead, Lamar. Come on in.
It's okay. I've been trying to mute because I'm walking, which leads me to my point. So you were talking a little bit ago about couples, mature couples, and
Hmm.
having a healthy sex life throughout the lifespan, and something that I have experienced because I seem to talk to a lot of older men who are set in their ways. They have these uh, reminiscent moments and comparisons of their past self, and they spend time trying to say, "Hey, well, when when I was 35, I was da, and I was, and it's like, okay, cool, sir, but you're 70." And the thing that I want to share, not me with everybody, but specifically the men, is that we, as we age, a lot of times men don't take care of themselves,
Mm.
right? One gentleman I'm thinking about, he has some erectile dysfunction, but he also smokes cigarettes every day. And
Mm.
he drives all day to his job. He does no sort of movement outside of that. When he comes home, he just sits. So I'm like, so you sit all day, smoke cigarettes, eat, I'm sure, fast food, and you wonder why your penis don't work. Like, these are, to me, I make that connection quickly. So I'm like, as men, this is, I guess, a challenge to men. Like, make sure, hey, if you can't run like I can't run like I used to, hey, walk. If you can't walk,
Mhm.
get a bike and pedal, get in the pool, find you something that you can do to keep you active. And what happens is, physically, as we feel healthier and we look healthier, we have a general desire, right,
Hmm.
to want to do more other stuff. Y'all get what I'm saying? Have more sex,
Yeah.
because it's like, okay, I feel good. Yeah, my hips is
Yeah.
loose. Yeah, let's do something. But when you feel bad,
Hmm.
when you feel bad, go take a yoga class or a Pilates class, a Tai Chi or something. Like, do something to
Yeah.
move, keep the flexibility, stay active, because it has so many other benefits. One of them being increased, sex drive and libido, and just more confidence in yourself.
Yeah.
Everybody, in my opinion, wants to look good naked and wants to feel like the person who's with them desires them. And if you don't feel good in yourself, you're not going to want to engage in a lot. And that's what a lot of men do. There's a lot of anticipatory anxiety I find, where they don't even want to do anything because they don't know if it's going to work. So instead of it not working, I'll just decline my wife's advances, and then that leads
Yeah.
to all these other issues. So,
Yeah.
and then of course there's the porn issue, but that's sure that we ain't got time for that today. So that's a whole conversation within itself.
So you said that the
Right.
next week the topic needs to be, can porn save my marriage?
I, I got the answer. No.
Okay. Well, that's our time for today. So thank you guys so much, so much. Lamar, I'm so jealous because he's out there getting it in,
I
multitasking
have
for
to.
your
I have
health.
to.
This is
I'm
amazing.
I
getting
have
ready to go
to.
get it in too.
All
Come
right.
on, let's get it.
That's right.
All right. Well, thank you guys. If anybody out there wants to get in contact with us, uh, Joe is our navigator. She'll get you to the right therapist. We are all right now accepting clients. So if you are in the state of Georgia, we're doing virtual and in person, so we can take care of you. And we just look forward to talking to you. All right, everybody, have a great day. Yeah, all right, bye.
Bye.